Hello, welcome to video number 10 in our series, Microsoft Certified Professional Developer 4.0 with ASP.NET and C#. The content is exam 70-515. Content's only created by Ravi Nanganuri, Microsoft MVP, .NET and video number 10, we're going to explore Ajax further in part 2 of our series. We went over to Ajax in the previous video, so if you've not watched that, you want to do that. There are several techniques when dealing with Ajax. So the update progress control, which we've not looked at yet, comes out of the box with 4.0. It's great for user experience. We'll learn how to use that. Controlling the messaging itself, understanding that when you're making long-running calls, let your user know that. That's about user experience. And enabling history is also part of the Ajax process, so hitting your back button on the browser, so to speak, be able to know how to handle that. And then using script combining for performance. We'll actually look at this in the video. This is a great technique, something you need to know. It's part of the exam content. It's a big deal with performance. Now, using multiple update panels, another technique that's used. We just looked at one update panel in the previous video. We're going to get into all of this in this video, and then in the next video as well, we introduce some new concepts. I want to jump over here to the virtual image, and I just want to show you right away. I've got a simple web form set up here, and I've just added a system.threading.thread.sleep for 10 seconds there, on our page. This is the same page we used in the previous video. I encourage you to watch that video if you've not seen it. And all we're doing is this is just going to simulate a delay. So let's say we're making a call. The call is not necessarily going to come right back to the user. It could take some time, and you've all done that when you've been on the web page. You notice it's taken some time. And we want to show something to show that the page is processing, give some type of a message or indicator that we are doing some work. We'll be back, rather than leave some static on the page where we're not doing anything at all. I'm going to go over here to the HTML. You see that I've got the update progress tool that I just dragged and dropped on the screen. I'm going to fast forward this a bit, and you notice I'm still using the update panel here. And basically, the idea here is I've got a long-running call. I want to notify the user, hey, this is going to take a bit. And you notice on the update progress control, I've just got this progress template here. That's the key thing. In the progress template, I can just type some free text in here. The time will, show shortly, something like that. We'll show how we can even use an image in a minute to make it a little more nifty. If I just run this right now and I click this button, it's just going to tell me the time's going to show shortly. And again, we're waiting on that thread.sleep to come back. But you can imagine, the database is doing some work or whatever else. And then at some point here, you see the time comes back. So the user didn't sit here in some stale mode or static mode. They saw, and you notice I click the button up here, it's coming right back. But if I click this Ajax button, we want to notify the user, hey, we're going to make the call. It's going to take a bit. We're processing this. We'll be back in shortly. Something like this. We don't want to just let the user sit here and not know anything. They click the button and then go away, so to speak, not knowing what's going on. And again, that's driven by the progress template of the update progress tool that we can use. Again, that's just built right into ASP.NET 4.0. I'm going to uncomment some code here. I'm going to use text here as well, but at this point I'm also going to use an image. It's just an animated GIF. We've all seen these animated images like spinning wheels, progress bars, this type of stuff. And if you notice when I click the button, not only do we get some text down here, it also shows us this animated GIF. And all that is an image spinning. And I just basically had configured this up as part of that progress template. And then eventually the time comes back here. So you see that the user experience is much better. They realize, hey, there's processing going on. Something's happening in the background. So this is a common technique you want to use, be able to understand how to leverage. And that, again, the update progress bar, that's one of the core tools right out of the toolbox with ASP.NET 4.0. There's also another element we can do here, which is display after. Let's say I set that to 5 seconds, and that's part of the update progress bar there. And I can say, not all button clicks do I want this to, that image to pop up and all that. Wait a few seconds. But if it takes longer than, let's say, 5 seconds, and you can count this down, kind of 3, 2, 1, and then, okay, go ahead and now show it. And then a few seconds later, we'll see the time show up. So you can kind of throttle when this is going to appear. It's not going to automatically appear on button click. It's going to wait. If the process starts to take too long, it'll show this processing label. This is all about really what Ajax is about, which is making your user experience much better, much more rich by giving them feedback. And it's not only about updating parts of the form, kind of out of band, so to speak, with partial page postbacks, but it's also about the user experience. If I go ahead and just rerun this now, I want to show something. If I've drag and dropped some Ajax controls, nothing's on the screen at this point. I've just drag and drop a script reference. I can drag and drop a few other things. Lots of JavaScript files get loaded in the background. The more controls we drop down here, and this is from the Ajax Control Toolkit, the more JavaScript that's going to be brought down, the more requests we're making to the web server, which can really slow things down. So there's a technique. And notice if I drag and drop the Toolkit Script Manager here, we just get this on a blank page that I just showed you. As I start to add other controls from the Ajax Control Toolkit, which we'll show how to install in an upcoming video, like the accordion control, like other type of really rich controls that provide us a lot of nifty features, there are a lot more requests that are going to happen to the web server, kind of unbeknownst to you, kind of in the background. And using these controls can cause some significant overhead due to those requests. The browser can only handle, 1 or 2 requests at a time. So even, just these basic controls, you see there's nothing even on being rendered to the screen here. We can start to affect performance. There's not a lot of weight in this page. It's not only about how heavy your page is, the number of controls on your page, it's how many requests you're making. And these Ajax controls, tend to, really bloat that. But there's a technique we can to combine these scripts, and we can use this with the Toolkit Script Manager. So the first thing to do is understand how many requests we're making. So you could use a sniffer like Fiddler or something like that. There's also a script reference profiler you can download from Codeplex. Drag and drop this on the screen, and all this is going to basically do is show you, and you can ignore the error here. It's just not have any design time capability. But it's going to show you how, what requests are being made based on what you have on your page. And again, you can download that free from Codeplex. If I just run this page now, you see it's already even locally taking a bit longer to run. But you notice here's the scripts it's running. We've got several scripts in play here. The timer, the accordion control, all these various JavaScript files significantly impact performance because we're making a new request every time from the browser to the web server. So what we want to do, and it's a common technique, is combine these scripts. Be able to leverage these scripts, combine these into one request versus like 10 or 15 requests. And notice as I just start to drag a few more controls onto the page, such as the drop-down box, you see that you can easily even tell locally performance is being impacted here, as well as we're bloating and growing more and more. You see 10 references already here. Once again, if you had a sniffer or something like this, you could watch these requests go. So we're just increasing the number of requests to the web server, and that's significantly going to impact your performance or usability experience from your users. Let alone if you get into some of these rich Ajax controls, as I can drag and drop some of these other more fancy rich ones like the editor, which is really cool, has a lot of great features. But if you start to run this now, already you see with just these few controls on the page, which started out as nothing, I'm all the way up to, and you can really watch the performance here slow down at the bottom of the screen, I'm already up to 87 different requests. So with modern Web 2.0 applications, it's not uncommon to see lots and lots of different files, upwards of 100, 200 requests being made just on a page load. And it's just not acceptable performance-wise at some point due to this. But there is a technique you can use to combine all of these requests into a single request, and it's a configuration type thing. We're going to show how to do that in the code behind. So, or excuse me, in the ASPX page or in the HTML with Script Manager. So I went over here to a more simple page. I've just got a couple controls at this point, and it's just causing me 3 requests. And again, I could copy these right out of the browser. I see the request references. That tool, again, from Codeplex gives me the ability to see this. You could see this with other sniffers as well. But I want to take these script references, and I want to copy and paste those basically directly into my HTML and leverage Script Manager, or if you're using the Ajax Control Toolkit, leverage the Toolkit Script Manager, and use this composite scripts element, and I've got that commented out. I'll go ahead and uncomment that. And underneath composite scripts, you have a scripts XML element, and you simply plug the scripts in here. And with nothing more than that, what's going to happen is we're going to go from 3 requests, or 300 if you happen to have that many, down to just 1 request. And that's going to significantly help in the performance in the responsiveness of your application. The browser's not having to sit there and be really chattery with the web server and send all of these various requests. So anybody using modern Ajax should look at this technique in some form or fashion. You notice I run this, I now just have 1 reference. It's only requesting the one, it's all basically being sent in that 1 request. And you should profile your Ajax enabled applications either using this tool or some other similar tool from Codeplex, or just some sniffer, and understand how many requests are being made, because that's going to be one of the big potential problems on your web application. So we're going to look at other techniques as we move throughout the video series here from the client side of things. These are core fundamentals you're going to want to know for the certification exam, so make sure that you continue to firm up your fundamentals in that regard.